Hey guys, it's Bob Ferngren and I'm back with another 8-minute video on network marketing. And my heart, my prayer, my desire for you is that my long-term experience, 19 years in network marketing, made every possible mistake you can make, have learned through those mistakes, grown, and been able to build epic businesses. And so I just love sharing that because I love helping cut down people's learning curve. And again, I hope I'm able to do that for you. Yesterday, or in a previous video, I guess that's a better way to put it, because who knows what order you're watching these in, right? But in a previous video, I talked about being brave. And that's not easy. I know that. And we tend to only be brave when we're backed up against the wall. Many crater back up against the wall and totally give in and lose faith and hope, and things tend to crumble, right? But champions tend to rise up when they're backed up against the wall and just figure out a way. You know, for me, this thing to even click for me, I had to lose everything, go hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal debt. I was writing those checks you used to get in your credit card thing to pay off my kids' student loans, and man, I just got buried, and I needed something to work. Hard-headed male, full of ego, pride, and all that other stuff that doesn't serve us. And I just kind of gave in, went to an event, saw people making the kind of money I wanted to make, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I got a lot of problems right now, but one of them is I'm not stupid. If that guy can do it, I can do it. I'm just going to do exactly what he's doing. See, success leaves a clue, doesn't it? And so, the fear for me was, I was this big time CEO at one time of many different companies. I was an entrepreneur, had done entrepreneurial things, started businesses, and the fear for me was, wow, would anybody ever come with me that worked with me in the past, that saw me one way, and now they see me starting a business that some people think have a stigma on it. And so the fear was all internal. And you know what I did? I just plowed through it. I just kept plowing through it and plowing through it and plowing through it. And there was a lot of weirdness, a lot of weird people who don't talk to me anymore, relatives. Oh gosh, my father was still alive. He thought I was a fool when I got into this business after seeing his son, running big companies and doing entrepreneurial things. But here's the thing that's always affected me. I never wanted to be average. I never wanted to be average. And I know, because I've known this for a long time. Maybe I didn't have the right words 20, 30, 40 years ago. But I knew that average had a huge pull on it. It has a huge pull, meaning averages, like most people, right? I wanted to be exceptional. And every time someone steps up and goes for it, average people try to pull them down. Average people really don't want other average people becoming successful, or to be exceptional, let's say, to be above average, let's say. Now, why don't they want that? Because it certainly forces them to look in the mirror and their own shortcomings, and the fact that they're accepting average when this wonderful life, especially here in America, where we can be anything we want to be, they choose average. And the reason they choose average is because most of their friends are average. Most of their friends are buried in debt. Most of their friends self-inebriate, drugs, alcohol, Netflix. Most of their friends live for the weekend. Most of their friends accept the fact that they'll work 50 weeks a year under the rule of the company, the boss, and then they're allowed to have 2 weeks off, where most of their friends takes them a week to 10 days to decompress from being told what to do for 40 or 50 hours a week, and possibly spending a large portion of their life commuting And so then really their vacation is 3 or 4 days, and then bam, they're back in it and they're living for another year to get those 2 weeks off. You see, that's most people. Most people have just accepted the fact that they want to be like most people. And the reason that is because there's a pull of average. The pull of average is much stronger than the pull of exceptional. Exceptional is something someone does themselves. They decide that no matter what anyone else thinks of them, that they were put on this planet for a bigger reason, for a higher purpose. Short term, that might be being the mom or dad that's just a rock star, because that mom and dad don't miss moments. They show up. I didn't show up. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I missed a lot of my children's stuff. And, my pursuit, I always thought it was financial, to take care of my family and have big homes and all that. I was an immature Christian and, wasn't really focused properly. And then I found out, there's bigger purposes in life. Like, time is more important than money. Relationships are more important than money. Experiences are more important than money. And, when you start prioritizing those things, the issue is that for those things, the way this system is wired, you need money. And so it's not like loving money, it's realizing how important money is to achieving the things that are more important. Average people don't think that way. Average people literally don't have a budget. Average people spend more than they earn. Average people are, like Thoreau says, they're living quiet lives of desperation. What maybe you're here for 50 years, or maybe you're here for, and God forbid, maybe less. Maybe you're here for 60 years, or maybe you're here for 70 years, or maybe you're here for 80 years, or maybe you're here for 90 years. But one of the ways I look at this is it's the big test, It's the big test. What are you going to do with it, right? And of course, none of this human nature really doesn't change. All this craziness you see in politics. Go read about the Romans. Go read about. There were crusaders, and so you have riots then. You have people coming into villages and killing people back then. Human nature really doesn't change. But here's what I know: the pull of average really doesn't change. And look, I understand that if you're starting in a poverty mindset, if you're starting with a lack mindset, reaching average is a great first step. So I would suggest that if you're dealing with some of that stuff, that you realize that what was doesn't matter. Where you are and where you're going is all that matters. So even if you've had a spirit of lack and a spirit of less than, you had self-esteem issues, mommy and daddy weren't the best, you had coaches that sucked. We've all had that stuff, right? The ability to live an above average life first starts with deciding you're going to live an above average life. And no matter what anyone else says about you, your purpose, your family, your goals, your preferred better future are more important. And then you just stick with it. Yes, some of the friends who are self-inebriating are going to drop you, or you'll choose to drop them, which is probably better. Some family members may not like you anymore, but in reality, what has old, crazy, broke Uncle Joe ever done for you, other than maybe say negative things and keep you in your place? That's what most humans do to each other. So the first thing I would tell you, don't ever do that to anyone else. Don't ever be a dream stealer to anyone else. But don't ever let anyone else steal your dreams. This is an incredible business opportunity you have. You can be anything you want. Hey, let's go.